Welcome to SBA Insider. I'm Quinn Taylor. I'm here with Nick Frank and Luke Treese, Haverford College.
Yep.
Talk to us, man. It's good to see you.
Yep.
Happy you're home.
Nice to see you.
I know clearly you've got a long time left to be here.
You know that.
But talk about how long you've been here, your origin story. Talk about the time you met Nick and your situation and the beginning to now.
Yeah, so I came over, I think the spring of my 8th grade year, because after talking to my dad, that's when I was really serious about baseball, and that's when I was like, oh, maybe I want to play in college. Maybe I want to be the best baseball player I can, so we started looking around for clubs.
Sure.
And this is a club that I'd seen. I'd obviously seen their facilities, played against a couple of their teams, knew they were good, and so I decided to come over, and it was honestly one of the best baseball decisions I've made because, I mean, right away it was a really competitive team, and even from just the summer and middle school, and then played with that pretty much throughout high school.
Right, right. So you came in with that second wave of guys.
Yeah.
How did he play a role in that second wave of guys, and what was the first interaction you had with Luke?
I thought it was super athletic, fast, could play anywhere, came here as a middle infielder. We were deep at middle infield. So it was like, listen, we got to get Luke some innings at 13, 14 years old, but we got Reese there, we got Villani there, we got Sippy there, you know, all playing D1, right? So Luke transitioned to an outfielder. And probably wasn't happy with it in the beginning, but he did great at it. He's got a good arm, he's got good speed, he's got good reads on the ball. He picked up on it quick. I would try every year, and we probably have the same conversation. Luke, I'm going to try to get you on defense in infield, try to get you innings. When you have a team, it's hard to do that, right? But he also pitched for us. He pitched very good at times. So he pretty much can play anywhere. Luke can play anywhere you want except pretty much first and catcher.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's something that actually prepared me for college too, because now I've kind of transitioned to a full-time outfielder. But my coaches in college have expressed interest with me maybe coming off the mound. And I think kind of my experience with this club is I was mainly coming out of the bullpen into different tight situations, and I think that might be a similar role that I might have in college.
Right.
So I think that having that background is going to help me too.
Playing different positions.
Yeah.
It's a level of trust that you need to have, not only in that process, but in the people who are conducting the process too, right? Talk about your level of trust for Coach Nick and, you know, seeing that through, because as a young athlete, it's not that simple to just say, okay, I want to play something else. So how did you feel, and where's your trust at?
Yeah, when you're a coach, you know, you want to put the players that you have in the field kind of in the situations that they can succeed in, especially in competition.
For sure.
Right? And so you got to know, like, what kids can succeed in what position, because that way you're going to get kind of the best results from a team as a whole, because ultimately you're just trying to win the game. And I think that's something that Coach Nick did. Right, he knew where kids would succeed, and he kind of placed them in that position. So I trusted Coach Nick, where it's like he could see me in the outfield. He could see, oh, this kid could be a really good outfielder one day. And I trusted that. I bought into playing the outfield, and I think that's something that helped me develop to be, you know, kind of the outfielder that I am today.
Yeah. And I got to tell you, I think a shout out should go out to him and his parents and his family, because in his situation, a lot of people would just be like, you know, I'm going somewhere else. They said he could play shortstop and second base and pitch. But to his parents and to Luke's credit, they trusted how good the team was. They knew it was going to be a battle, but they loved the team. They loved how he was being able to transition to an outfielder and pitch in different spots, because he is a very good player. He swings at left side. He gets out of the boxes. The team's very good in general, so he fit in perfectly. And to his credit, I can't say nothing more but thank you to the Treeses personally, because they didn't have to trust that. They definitely could have went anywhere else. Probably played middle infield. It wouldn't have been that team, but he would have got what he wanted. So that unselfish mentality, that we are different, that trust and process stuff, I mean, I feel like he showed me that.
Right.
And I didn't have to show him what that meant. He showed me that he believed in that by just trusting me when he came back for that second and third and fourth year after transition to an outfielder.
It's the evaluation process, right? It's the evaluation of knowing what type of players you're getting and how you can turn your career into something as a positive, right? I mean, you started in that position of being a middle infielder, and now you're an outfielder, and it's only helped you excel. So, you know, the sky's the limit for you probably mentally as a player. Talk about, you know, the support you had from the players on your team, knowing that, okay, maybe you're competing with different guys, but now they see you in a different position and you're thriving.
Yeah, something that was just so special about the team is when you got kind of into the kind of dugout and interacting with the guys, especially during the tournaments, you can understand that, yeah, everyone cared about kind of how they were playing and their own recruiting.
Naturally.
But something that I thought was special is everyone wanted to win. It was a really competitive environment, like outwardly. And, you know, everyone had each other's backs when it was game time. And because ultimately, you know, the number one goal for every single guy kind of out there on the field was, how do we win this baseball game? And that's something that I really loved about this team. And, you know, Nick helped along with that. He helped create that culture where it's just something, because I love to win, right? That's kind of...
Winners win, man.
Yeah, I know. It's the thing that I care about most when I go on the baseball field. And I thought it was really special that in a club like this, that even though, you know, kids were worried about their own recruiting, you know, the main goal was still going out there and playing as competitive baseball as we could.
You know, we talked about it with a couple guys already, but, you know, not only winning, but the adversity you face, you know, in this game is always going to be probably one of the more daunting things that you'll have in your baseball career. But it takes a village at not only every level you play baseball at, but specifically the Division III level too. Talk about the process and the support that you had of making your decision to go to Haverford, and how SBA made that happen for you.
Yeah, so I mean, Haverford found me at a tournament that we were playing.
What tournament?
MSI.
Attaboy. Yeah, prospect select, Matt Darnold. Shout out to you, but I remember that day and I was pumped. So
Philly, is that the Philly invite?
Yeah, that's why I want to see if you remember.
Shout out to the prospect select guys, man.
Luke had a lot of guys that they fell in love with him over there.
Yeah.
I'm so happy that you remember that, because I remember that being so happy driving back.
Right.
Yeah, but I mean, that was a big thing with Sportika with helping the recruiting, is because we had, you know, such a competitive team with a lot of good players there. Coaches would come and look at us. And I think that was really helpful, because ultimately that's how I got found. And then after I was talking to the coaches at Haverford, I was talking with Coach Nick kind of about my decision a little bit. And, you know, he was there for me when I was deciding in the end between schools. But, I mean, really kind of that end part of my summer going into senior year and the beginning of my senior year was a time where I got a lot of support from Nick, especially.
Pivotal role, man.
Yeah.
Pivotal moments, and you know, it's a great thing when you have those people in your corner, and I'm sure,
for sure,
your family is a support system, but SBA as well.
Yeah.
What would you say to a player who's been in your position, right? You know, you moved positions, and you have to trust that. Then you not only trusted it, but you excelled, right? Talk about a younger player, a parent, a family who's might be in that same position as you. What would you say to them as far as this process?
That's a good question. I'd say two things. I'd say one, kind of trust it, along with playing multiple positions, right? College coaches are really looking for that kind of versatility throughout, and they're looking mainly for athletes.
Right.
So I just think just try to be athletic as you can. Don't tie yourself really to a position. Be a guy that you can plug in multiple positions, because that's what's going to get you recruited. That's what's going to get you out in the field.
Absolutely.
And then two, you know, as a guy that ended up going Division III with a bunch of other guys on my team going Division I, so they went earlier in the summer. And I was one of the guys that was last to commit on the team. And I think for those guys who are, you know, later to commit, I'd say just trust it, right? Just relax. Like, you don't need to worry, because things are going to sort itself out. You're going to find a place that you're going to like.
Right.
So it's okay that if you're not committed by, you know, June of your summer year, going into senior year.
Well said.
Right. Like, it's okay, because I ultimately decided on Haverford in early November, I think.
I was going to say it was early or mid-October, I thought, but I'll say early November.
Yeah, I think it was, I mean.
I had October. Yeah, no, I agree.
I was like pretty decided
Late is
in
late.
October, but
And they started, and your journey was cool too, because it didn't really take off to you until that tournament. That was like the middle of August. That Philly invites middle of August, and like, but it was all about Luke that day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I was pumped, and then I went back the following day because we had another team playing, and that coach came running up to me all about Luke again, and I was texting him, and like, I was just cool because he's a very mature kid. He's a very smart kid. He wanted academic. So we know in the recruiting process, the hardest thing to do is academic and baseball. It's hard to find both.
It is.
He did.
That works
so
out.
We're grateful for that. He found both. So I think that part's pretty cool. And yeah, it was late. It was October, November, no doubt.
So those kids that, you know, in that summer before senior year, if you're not really getting exactly what you want, like, be patient. It's okay. Like, don't need to worry. Things come along late, and you'll probably find a place that you're really going to like.
Well, Luke, we're glad that you found Haverford.
Yeah.
I'm glad that
Me
SBA
too.
played a huge role in your success, and we couldn't be happy for you, man.
I appreciate it.
No, I appreciate you, Luke. It's good to see you, boys.
SBA Insider with Luke Treese.
Thanks for having me on.